Are you trying to navigate the hype of AI? Now is the time to capitalize. Investment in AI has reached a new high, with 3/4 of CEOs already personally using AI tools. Gartner is here to help, providing executive leaders with expert insights, strategic guidance, and actionable advice to make informed decisions and stay ahead of industry trends. Visit Gartner.com or click the link in the show notes to download our AI action plan and learn how to build the right AI strategy for your organization.
Welcome to Gartner ThinkCast. I'm Karen Stokes-Lockhart, and today we're diving into Gartner's top strategic technology trends for 2025. Each year, these trends are revealed at Gartner IT Symposium Expo to help set a path forward for leaders to anticipate and prepare for the future, and not just for next year, but far beyond the immediate horizon. Today, we're joined by distinguished VP Analyst Gene Alvarez to help break it all down. He leads Gartner's top strategic technology trends research and debuted the trends at this fall's IT Symposium Expo. Gene, welcome in.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
So to start off at a high level, could you touch on some of those main themes or trends with your presentation this year?
Certainly, Karen. The overall theme of our top strategic technology trends research is shaping the future with responsible innovation. Now, what do we mean by that? What we mean is that organizations have a variety of innovations to select every day that they can choose to bring into their organization to create value for their organization. But they have the challenge of doing this in a responsible, ethical, and trusted manner. Some of these innovations, they provide great things, but they can also do great harm. And this is where we want to shape a future for our organizations where we bring in responsible innovation.
So can you go a little bit deeper and tell me a little bit more about, the categories or buckets of things that might touch on?
So we see three themes within our top strategic technology trends.
Mm-hmm.
The first theme is AI imperatives and risks. The next theme is new frontiers in computing. And then the third theme is human-machine synergy. Now, in the first theme, AI imperatives and risks, we take a look at Agentic AI, which is the ability for organizations to create agents that can do things for the organization in AI.
Mm-hmm.
So these are agents that can work with you, without you, can act for you. So think of employees that are working 24/7, 365, never need benefits, never take vacation days, doing a lot of things for your organization. But along with that comes a challenge of governing all of those AI agents, plus all the other aspects of AI in the organization. So that brings us to our second trend, AI governance and platforms. And the third one in AI risk and imperatives is the rise of disinformation. There is more and more disinformation being spread on the web that organizations are having to deal with because it can hurt their reputations and damage their brand. And because AI is also in the hands of red team hackers, they're able to create synthetic media, videos, pictures, voice that is so good, they could even penetrate meetings in your organization and act as an employee. And with that, organizations need to put in disinformation security measures and technologies to battle all sorts of synthetic media that'll be used to create bad dialogue about their organization. So that's the AI risk and imperative bucket or theme within our Shape the Future with Responsible Innovation.
Got it. And I heard three big things there, the agentic AI, the governance, and the disinformation. And I know we can't get away from AI, even if somebody wanted to. But I'm curious to hear a little bit more about that second bucket, the new frontiers of computing. What can we expect there?
Yes, so we're leaving the world of AI behind. And in the world of new frontiers of computing, we have four trends, and it's going to be hard to talk about them quickly here, but I'll name them. Post-quantum cryptography, ambient invisible intelligence, efficient computing and hybrid computing. Now, post-quantum cryptography. What's happening is as quantum computers become more and more real and available, there's the ability to break all asymmetrical cryptography for an organization. Now, think about this. Every application that touches the web uses asymmetric cryptography. So asymmetric cryptography is the current algorithms used by organizations to do encryption across the web. So when you are connecting applications, when you sign onto a website, that encryption is what protects the data being transported throughout the web.
Got it.
With a quantum computer, I can break all the locks and I'm in. So now we need to move to a new form of cryptography that can't be broken by both classical computers, what we call a brute force attack, or quantum.
Perfect. Thank you for that explanation. Appreciate it. So then I think you were getting ready to talk about the next one, ambient invisible intelligence.
Yes. So imagine there are so many things we all want to keep track of but the problem is the tags, they cost so much, right? You might be using air tags or tiles to track things, right? You lose your wallet, briefcase, right? But the price of those tags is still high. Now, organizations are using RFID to track things, but what's happening is the price of tags is falling significantly.
Okay.
And not only is the price falling, there's advancements in it where there are tags available that charge themselves on radio frequency, ambient radio frequency. So they don't even need batteries. So all of a sudden, we can track all sorts of things that we want to track. We call this information in the shadows. And ambient invisible intelligence means that we can track, for example, ice cream moving through a supply chain and ensuring that through the entire supply chain, it has maintained its temperature.
Got it. And the third, that energy efficient computing.
Yes. Now, I don't know anyone whose personal electricity bill has gone down.
Mine hasn't.
Or in organizations that hasn't gone down, right? And everyone is doing all sorts of things to reduce their carbon footprint. Well, there's tremendous pressure on IT organizations to reduce their carbon footprint. So just as we used to write algorithms in the past to save space, we're going to have to write algorithms to save energy. We're also going to have to look at emerging technologies that will enable us to save energy, such as optical computing, neuromorphic computing, DNA storage, and others. And that means we're going to be looking at our portfolio in our organization to say, where can we be energy efficient? Now, in the beginning, it may be as simple as moving some of our applications to green cloud providers. But due to environmental pressure from board pressure, customer pressure, organizations are going to have to investigate new technologies that bring factors of 10 times or 100 times reductions in energy efficiency.
It's definitely a tough challenge, but also one that's good for the world.
Now, our next one is hybrid computing. And in the old days, we used to move from one computing type to another. So there was mainframe, and then client server came, and we moved to client server. And then the web came, and we moved to the web. But we never got rid of the old. So we kind of have a mess in our basement. Well, we are tracking currently at least 7 new technologies coming our way for different types of computings, right? We've got GPUs, we've got application-specific integrated circuits, neuromorphic computing, and more. So we are now facing a challenge of how do we manage the mess we have and the mess that's coming? And what it means is a change in mindset. We're going to change our thoughts from, instead of replacing one compute power with another, it's about using them all and taking advantages of all the strengths of the different ones in a combined manner through orchestration. So hybrid computing actually brings together many computing models to act as one for supporting a process in the most efficient manner.
So some really high impact trends that are coming our way for us to consider. We're going to take a quick break. We covered those first two buckets with you. And when we come back, we'll jump into the third one, the human-machine synergy. Are you in a new role? Chances are you're not alone. At any given time, a quarter of executives are in transition, with 40% underperforming on meeting their objectives. A new role requires a new plan, and Gartner provides the insight, guidance, and tools you need to make an impact now and throughout your tenure. Visit Gartner.com or click in the link on the show notes to download our exclusive action plan and speed up your impact. Okay, so we are back and we've covered two of the three buckets, AI imperatives and risk and new frontiers of computing. So Gene, we would love to hear a little bit more about that third one, human-machine synergy.
Human-machine synergy is really, really interesting to me because think about how humans have changed in interactions with the introduction of the computer, the introduction of the tablet, the laptop, the smartphone, right? We're now seeing changes in how we interact with machines. And here we have three trends. We have spatial computing. Now, some of you may have bought a headset. I'm not going to say any of the organizations' names that makes the headset, but you've probably bought a headset for gaming and you're wearing it, and now it's enabled you to enter the metaverse. Well, spatial computing combines headsets of two types. VR, the ones that you're familiar with, but also augmented reality. In other words, you can look through them. So we saw this, for example, with the Ray-Ban smart glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine I'm working at a plant. I have to replace a part. I'm wearing a AR headset.
Okay.
And when I look at the part on the machine, it tells me heads up what things I need to turn off so that I can safely remove the part, shows me where I need to make take the bolts out to remove the part safely, and tells me all the parts I need to put in to replace it while I'm doing it.
Amazing.
But it can also do this. So imagine I go to start and I haven't turned off all the things I needed to do. It can warn me in real time.
Wow.
It can say, don't start. You haven't turned off this.
Mm-hmm.
And until you turn that off, you can't safely do this procedure. So it can work in real time. Now we're seeing a lot of applications starting to be developed for manufacturing, for retail, for consumers, in which now the digital and physical world can be blended together. And it's also bringing new forms of collaboration. So many teams now are separated because of work at home. Well, they can all put on their VR headsets, and perhaps we're working on designing a city development or park or building. The team members can all see the building and make adjustments and work on it as if they were all in the new room.
Very cool.
Now, our next one is polyfunction robots. What this means is robots that do more than one thing. Now, this is one of my favorites because I get to talk about Star Wars, right? Now, many may think of a humanoid robot like C-3PO, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, humanoid and canine is kind of a fashion trend of these robots right now, but they don't have to be. But C-3PO is a diplomatic robot. And that's all C-3PO does is diplomacy.
Uh-huh.
Well, R2-D2 is a polyfunctional robot because R2-D2 is a navigator, is a hacker. It can defend itself. It actually does things that Luke Skywalker assigns it to do. So that's a polyfunctional robot. Now, these robots are starting to work besides us, which leads more to robotology, which has been around since 1972, if you check the IEEE site. But it's about the relationships between humans and robots. So we're going to see robots working beside us more and more as we go into the future. And our last one here is neurological enhancement. Now, if you know the movie Limitless, person takes a pill and then they know everything. Or if you've seen the series Severance, the person has a chip implanted in them. And when they go to work, they don't know who they are outside of work. And when they leave work, they don't know what they do at work. This is somewhere in the middle. So we have seen the ability of using neurological enhancements to bring people's hearing back, their sight, and deal with other medical issues. So now imagine these bidirectional machine interfaces could do something like this. A person with Parkinson's, when they're having tremors, it can send a calming signal to their brain so that the tremors are gone. But also imagine this. I can put on a vest or a headband or a hat or earbuds, and that when I'm driving as a truck driver, it can detect that I'm suffering from fatigue and gives me a warning that I should pull over and take my rest break.
Wow.
That is the future of neurological enhancement.
So across these three buckets, you have shared with us 10 different trends, and these sound so forward-thinking, so impactful in so many different ways. But now that we've hit all 10 trends, are there a few big takeaways or action items that you would give our audience, especially the CIOs and IT leaders in the crowd?
So when we look at the top strategic technology trends, we have given you 10 trends that we believe require a C-level response, are disruptive in nature, and have a global impact. And for our CIOs and IT leaders listening to this, you are now faced with a choice. You have to decide, are there any of these trends that you perhaps may want to act on now by doing a proof of concept? Or you may choose to monitor these technologies to see how they progress through the hype cycle. In other words, maybe you'll wait till they hit the plateau of productivity before you bring them into your organization. But what I can really suggest is you can't ignore them. Innovations come at us every day, and that's why Gartner produces the top strategic technology trends research so that you're not caught surprised by these major innovations.
Thank you for sharing that, Gene. And thank you for your time today and just sharing some of these trends with us.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode of ThinkCast, featuring distinguished VP Analyst Gene Alvarez. If you'd like to learn more about our topic today and Gartner IT Symposium Expo, visit Gartner.com and click the links in the notes. ThinkCast will be back in 2 weeks to break down the top 10 trends in even more detail. In the meantime, please rate, review, subscribe, and share with a colleague so neither of you will miss it.
ThinkCast is a production of Gartner. This podcast may not be reproduced or distributed in any form without Gartner's permission. It consists of the opinions of Gartner's research organization, which should not be construed as statements of fact. Content provided by other speakers is expressly the views of the speaker and/or their organization. While the information contained in this podcast has been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, Gartner disclaims all warranties as to the accuracy, completeness, or adequacy of such information. Although Gartner research may address legal and financial issues, Gartner does not provide legal or investment advice, and its research should not be construed or used as such.